Okay, today we're going to learn how to construct a trapezoid using a compass and a straight edge. So I'm going to start off by drawing an angle. Here. Okay, and I'm going to name this angle because it's just helpful if it's got names while we're figuring out how to do the construction. So I'm going to call it BAC. So this is going to be point B. Point A is going to be right here. And then point C will be up here. And you don't want to put point C all the way at the top of this segment because we're going to use that top area to help us with our construction. And the reason is because we're going to wind up drawing corresponding angles. If we can draw corresponding angles that are congruent, then that'll help us draw the parallel segments that we need for our trapezoid. So I'm going to now take my compass and figure out how to copy the angle that I have down here at point A. So take the vertex and put the point of your compass on that vertex. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because if it's too big, it's not going to fit up here because our goal is to copy it up here where point C is. Okay, and so I'm going to make this a little smaller. And then draw an arc that intersects both sides of my angle, just like this. And since we're copying an angle, we're going to do the exact same thing up here at point C. We want to try to be as precise as possible because or else it's not going to look right. Okay, now at point C, I'm going to copy that same arc right here. So try to make it look just as big because that'll help us make sure that when we copy it, that all the intersections that we need will be there. Okay, before I start drawing my next arc, I'm going to go ahead and label these intersections. I'm going to use a different color because they're not really part of our trapezoid, but it is really helpful to just know these intersections. So I'm going to call this down here point D. And then this one point E. And then I'm going to call this one up here point F. Okay. Now, point E corresponds with point F, but right now we don't have any point that corresponds with D. So we have to form that point by copying the distance between point E and point D. So to figure that out, I'm going to take my compass and put the point on E, and then take the pencil and put it on D, and that will go ahead and copy that distance. Go. Okay, so I'm setting the compass so that it's equal to the distance between point E and point D. Once you have that compass setting, you can now take the compass and put the point on point F, and then copy that length onto the arc. Okay, and then here, we're going to copy this arc. Okay, and now I have another intersection that should mimic point D. And I'm going to call this point G. Okay, let's go back to blue. So now, since I'm trying to copy segment AB so that it's parallel to, but it doesn't need to be the same length as, I'm going to start at point C and then draw a line through point G. It doesn't really matter how long it is. I like to make it a little bit shorter because it looks a little bit more like a trapezoid that way, but no big deal. And then if you did this correctly, this segment here on top should be parallel to the segment here on the bottom. And now all we need to do to finish our trapezoid, I'm going to label this last point here. Let's call it H since I haven't used that letter yet. And just connect point H and point B, and then we have our trapezoid. It has exactly one pair of parallel sides, which is all that it needs.